Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Treebag, and welcome back to another Tree Talk. It is a beautiful day on the Grand Strand again. We got birds flying, the sun's rising, the water's flowing, and grass is growing. Today, I want to talk to you about, is the Lowrider ST a good starter bike or not for you? So let's hop on, let's go for a ride, and figure that out. Off the bat, yeah, you can ride it, no problem. I don't see a problem with you getting it as a starter bike. It's more of a can you afford it type of thing. These bikes are not cheap at the end of the day. With the 131 engine, a 23 ST, and then you throw the interest on top of that, you're looking at over $40,000. That's a lot of money to get on two wheels. But if you just stick with a regular engine, the 117, which has already got a ton of power for a beginner rider, you're probably gonna be a little bit over 30 grand. Now, as your first bike, that's a lot of money, you know? It's a lot of money for your first bike. Imagine dropping that and you're just crying and crying. It sucks. I had a Lowrider S. That bike was, I don't know, 20,000. I put another 20,000 into it. It got totaled. You know how that made me feel? Horrible. That was the first bike I put massive amounts of money into, and it just got ripped away from me. But that's not the point of this story. The point of the story is the Lowrider ST. Can you use it as a beginner bike? Absolutely. The power is very controllable. The power delivery is beautiful. Super smooth, super easy to get used to. Compared to the Lowrider S, for some reason, the S was much more, what would you say? Spun the tire a bit more. But I also think that has to do with my rider skill level. My skill level is increasing, so I do think that's a factor. Is it too much power? I don't think so. You have to know your own maturity level. You have to know, are you mature enough to ride a bike with power like that? Now, it's not sport bike power, it's Harley power. Harley power is torque, sport bike power is fast. There's a difference. The core strength you need to have to actually crank this thing is big. That dog was wearing a t-shirt, I just realized. You need to be in pretty decent physical shape with how heavy these bikes are. 800 pounds at the end of the day. That's not a 300-pound sport bike. If you are worried about the weight, if you're worried about the power, definitely start with a Sportster. Maybe start with a Honda, get a Rebel or something. If you want more of a sport bike, start on 250, a 300, 400. You don't have to go to a 600 or 1,000. Because little bumps even like this, you're going to hit that bump, your hand's going to hit the throttle, catch it, it's going to crank you a little bit, send you off the back. You don't want that. You got to take it easy, take it slow. My experience when buying my first bike, I got a 2022 Sportster. Brand spanking new. Had it for about a month, and I was able to learn how to ride on it. That was the best use of my money. It only made me go down $1,000. I only lost $1,000 on it. Lost the down payment. Well, I guess I lost, say, gas money and insurance for the month, but it's not really that important. Overall, say $1,300 I lost to learn how to ride. That ain't bad at all. Not bad at all. Now these bikes, they're going to be more expensive. Down payments, you're going to need $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000. That amount can go fully buy you a bike. If you don't know if you really want to ride, go get something else to start with. Get something, see if you're riding or not. See if it's for you. Getting into an ST with tens of thousands of dollars kind of hits the wallet a little bit. Your spouse might not be too happy. Now, I apologize if it's a little dark out. Apparently the sun doesn't want to come out today. It's rising a little bit later every day, and I still have to go to work at the same time. But, hey, look at that guy. That guy was wearing a t-shirt. How spiffy of him! What a gentleman! Very good. I like that guy. Good boy. As I was saying, where was I? I always get distracted by the dogs. Beginner bike, the Lowrider ST. My only concern for you with getting a Lowrider ST as the first bike is, can you afford it? Is this something that's going to cause you financial trouble? If it is, don't worry about it. There's tons of bikes. If you can afford it, if it's not going to cause you any trouble, go for it. Let it rip. The power is very controllable. Say you do mess up. Say you do crank it too much. Let go. Let go of the power. The braking speed of the engine brake is so strong, it will slow you down no matter how you are with your brakes. On a sport bike, the engine braking isn't so dramatic, so you could crank it, really mess up, and next thing you know, you're in the back of a car. And we don't want none of that, alright? We don't want none of that. It really comes down to, can you ride? I think a beginner bike, there's no right or wrong bike to get as your first bike. Getting a Busa as your first, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to ride. It's going to be a little bit harder to learn, but can you learn it? Absolutely. Don't let someone tell you you can't learn how to ride something. I bought a Sportster, no idea what I was doing, almost dropped it in the Harley parking lot as I was leaving. That's a hole! There's holes in the ground. But don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot ride. If you want a sport bike, get a sport bike. If you want a Harley, get a Harley. It's just up to us as the riders to fix this community together. You know what I mean? Sorry, we're going off on a little bit of a tangent. Meant to be talking about how you're supposed to get the Lowrider ST as your first bike. Well, there's not a whole lot much to it. Go out there, ride. Especially if you have experience riding already, like a dirt bike or something, go get the ST. Don't even question it. Go get it. There's no reason to take the baby steps. Just take the leap of faith. Get it done. Now I'm Treebag. I think you should get a Lowrider ST as a beginner bike. Now it may be a little bit more power than you want, but you know, you gotta scare yourself a little bit every now and then. Realize what you're getting yourself into. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope it gets a little bit more sunny out. I heard there's a hurricane inbound. I will see you on the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all that have been here from the start, and thank you the ones that have been here since now. We will see you later. Have a good one. Peace.